Hi, welcome back to our next DIY culinary challenge. Today we'll be making guacamole and salsa using fresh summer veggies. Let's get started. First we'll make the salsa. This recipe is really easy. Once you rough chop all of your ingredients, they just go in the food processor. The first thing we're going to do is roughly chop our tomatoes. We're just going to chop them into quarters. Right, next we're going to roughly chop half of a medium red onion. We just need to get those into chunks because like I said, they're all going to go in the food processor. Alright, next I'm going to cut the jalapeno. If you don't want it as spicy, make sure you take the seeds and membrane out, but we're going to keep them in because I want to make a spicy salsa today. The last thing we need to chop up is our clove of garlic. You need one really big clove of garlic or two small ones. So I clean this one and we're just going to chop it in half. So now we're going to add all of our fresh cut veggies into the food processor with our petite diced can of tomatoes. We've just got the standard blade on the food processor. So now we're going to add the rest of our spices, which is some cumin, some salt, some sugar, pepper, and chili powder. So in here I have the sugar, chili powder, and cumin. And it's just salt and pepper to taste. So I'm just going to put a pinch of salt. And a sprinkle of pepper. Next, we need 1/3 cup of fresh cilantro. And lastly, about 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I'm going to probably do the juice of 1 whole lime. All right, so we're just gonna pulse this a couple of times until everything is all mixed up. After a couple of pulses, I'm gonna take the lid off, give it a stir, and pulse it again. That looks about the texture that we're looking for. So that's all you need to do. Just pour it in a bowl and it's ready for your tacos or your dip. So now we're gonna get started on our guacamole. Guacamole is obviously avocado based. So the first thing we need is our avocados. Careful with this step since you are using a sharp knife. We're going to run it all the way around the outside of the avocado. We're going to twist it. And we got to get this pit out. So you can either use a spoon or you can give it a sharp whack with your knife. and give it a twist. We're gonna hold on to these because we might need them at the end. And you're just gonna scoop out your avocado into your bowl. And we're gonna do that just with all of our avocados. I'm gonna use about 3 today. All right, so to our bowl, we are going to add our jalapeno, our red onion, and our cilantro. We want to dice these up finely. Again, I'm going to keep the seeds in because I want it a little bit more spicy, but I'm probably not going to do the whole jalapeno. Probably just going to do about half. And be sure to wash your hands good after handling a jalapeno. So a great way for us to cut our onion is if you cut the onion through the hairy end and you make a slice through the middle, and then you cut your things perpendicular to the root, like so. When you turn it back to chop it, you'll have nice, fine dices. All right, and then lastly our cilantro, which we are just gonna chop up. Okay, to our bowl, we're gonna add the juice of 3 limes. Usually what I do is the number of avocados is the number of limes that you use to juice. So we're going to add a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper, and it really is to taste. So after you mix it up, if you think it needs more of one or the other, you can add more. And so now we're going to mash up all of the ingredients in the bowl. I'm going to use a potato masher, but if you don't have one, a fork works just as well. Once it's all mashed up, it's pretty much done. Again, taste that seasoning to make sure that it's to your liking. Add more salt and pepper if you need it. And the last thing we're gonna add to it is the tomato. I cut up a tomato, but I do not put it in my guacamole until I'm ready to serve, because the juices from the tomato will water down your guacamole. So if anything, I just put it right in the top and don't give it a good stir until I'm ready to serve. So you can add as much or as little as tomato as you like. So I'm just gonna use about half of a Roma tomato. And then just put it right in the top, in the center like this. Until I'm ready to serve it. If you have to store it, you can have it like this. Put 1 or 2 of your pits back in to the side and cover it with plastic wrap. Once you're ready to serve, take the plastic wrap off, take the pits out, and stir in those tomatoes. And you will have a nice, fresh guacamole. Right, use your salsa and guacamole as chip dip or as a topping on your favorite tacos or fajitas. Thank you for joining us for the DIY Culinary Challenge. Please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more virtual programming.